Hello. How are you guys doing today? Senator Trouble, being good at it? Huh? So, let me just switch over to this other camera here. There we go. There you wonderful people are. I'm just playing around with new cameras and new settings and stuff like that. So, how you guys doing? Welcome to yet another night of chaos with Wayne. That Justin pic in the thumbnail cracked me up every time. It does, eh? It is a precious thing indeed. What we got here? What do we? I just want to make sure. 720, 1080p. Oh yeah, 1080p. Perfecto. Gracias. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, so switch accounts here. Yeah. Okay. Boom. Just gonna pull up the chat so I can see what's going on. I got the Twitch chat up and running right there. I wish Facebook would allow me to pop out the chat on Facebook, but it doesn't. So, it is what it is. Let's see what we got here. Pull up this. No, it's not for kids. Enable. Save. And let's see, monetization is on. Live chat details. Okay, cool. All right, perfect. So here we go on. Oh, is this working? Yeah, it's working. All right, perfect. So I got the YouTube chat up. I got the Twitter chat up. We're good to go. We are good to go. Let's see what we got. We're set low latency, so the video should be good. Awesome. So how's everybody doing tonight? Good evening. Hey, child, how you doing? Polish Uncle Wayne, David, Warrior fan, how you doing? Mike, I seen your donation a while ago, you crazy son of a... Someone's trying to get some leftovers. Gordon, how you doing? The Traveler, how you doing? Doing great. Wizard, nice. My Desire, hey, your pick is really clear. Hey, I don't talk about your pick like that. Oh, man. Hey, Cat Attack, how you doing? All right. So, Vila, I love it when you do that. All right, so I got this email a while ago. Wait till you guys see this. Where was it? Right here. Boom, I gotta pull this article up. This article is it's absolutely crazy. Hold on. So let's do this. We'll pull this article up here. So this article that I'm bringing up on the screen right now literally says a bench warrant was issued after a Holland restaurant owner ignored state shutdown. So this is Holland restaurant to close during this mandate shutdown. Okay, so there was a shutdown that happened. Let me see. I'm gonna bring it up here. Boom, right here. So what happened was this guy here didn't abide by the rules and regulations of the state shutdown, and they ended up putting a bench warrant for the owner because he didn't follow the mandate shutdown. The judge ordered should be jailed until the shutdown the restaurant. Melinda Bistro Pizzeria, okay, in the U.S. 31, according to the defendant, also said that the judge ordered her to pay $7,500 in fines. She had to pay $7,500 in fines because she didn't follow the lockdown rules and regulations. So now this is happening to people all over the place. This is crazy. Now this is in the state. Well, I believe this is states. Holland Senate reports. Yes. So you see this shit. It's happening everywhere now. Everywhere. Restaurants opening up. You're getting in trouble because they didn't close during the state mandate. Like, how ridiculous is this gonna get? How ridiculous is this? So, I got my first warning on YouTube. Got my first warning on Twitter. Basically, I am being told not to talk anything about the election and what my feelings are, how it went one way or the other. So I'm being told to just shut up, is what I'm being told, essentially. So I don't know if I'm allowed to even talk about like this. Like, obviously I've been talking about COVID stuff forever now, but I guess we can't talk about your election. So people here in Canada can't even talk about your elections over there. That is crazy. Stay off your porch? Yeah, no kidding. So anything happen in the way of QAnon? Anybody know if anything happened that way in that regard to that aspect? Did anything happen that we know of? Because I've been looking, and I don't see anything. Cat attack, I don't see anything. So I'm gonna bring up some. So did Trump become president and take the White House back again? Did I miss that? I'm being a smart ass, by the way, just so you guys know. Trust me, nobody was on his side. YouTube has scrubbed all videos of Trump. Yep. RSBA, and I wonder if Fox News is still on there. Fox News. Hold on, let me check something here. Fox News had it on there. Now let me see if it's still there. Because it was Fox News that I was getting that stream from. And they should have this in they should have this in order. Okay, no, okay, hold on. It's coming up. It's coming up. Testing. No. Man, I watch a lot of videos. Alright, so let me see here. Video. What's up, my dear?
Do you want to try one?
A lemon?
Oh, sugar. It tastes like a cherry.
A lemon with sugar on it. Are you crazy?
It tastes like, oh. Try it.
No, I'm not trying that.
Look, we'll try it at the exact same time.
No, I'm not trying that. You crazy.
It tastes good.
There's something wrong with you. Like, I believe. Wayne is live on Twitter also. Yes, I'm live on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, on all of them right now. And you got to be kidding me. Where it? Fuck that. I'm not trying that shit. I eat that all the time. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Warrior fan, it's not
this?
that. Wow. The smell of it right now is making me cringe. Wow. Come on, kid. What? Hey, come on. You're getting it all over me. That's nasty.
Dad, just try it.
No.
Just eat it.
You fuck. Why do you do this whenever you know I'm live?
Guys.
You. Oh my god.
Just eat it!
There's something fucking wrong with you. Okay. So you ground it. Fuck. That is fuck. That is nasty. Now I got sugar and the freaking crap all over my hands. Ugh. Alright. I thought we were. Oh, man. There goes. So to everybody that enjoyed that, yeah. Never mind. So Fox News, is it on Fox News, or did Fox News get it taken down as well? There's my question. Oh, fuck. I don't see it. Wow, man, kiddo. I don't see it. Oh, man. If you Google Trump CPAC speech, it comes up in YouTube. Okay, Google CPAC speech. Okay. CPAC. Box. Okay. Wow. 3 days ago. Yeah, but that's not the video I was watching. No, see, that's not it. Hold on. Can I use the filter? Wow, my freaking mouth. That is nasty. See, it's not that speech, that video is not there. Oh, wow. Save the world. Okay, hold on a minute. The video is not there. Hold on, I'm going through here quickly. Oh, I'm having a hard time, man. That was really sour. Yeah, they're good for your. Fuck. Yeah, I'm feeling it through my whole freaking body. Okay, so I do not see. Ah, that is brutal. What is wrong with that kid? If you watch this in the future, I love you, baby, but man, there's something wrong with you. Whew. Okay, so I do not see the video. I don't see the video, guys. I really don't. I think YouTube removed it. I think YouTube removed the video. The one I streamed, I think they removed it. The one where I think it's because he states in that everything was, this and that. That's crazy. Ugh. That is crazy. So Fox News must have got it removed. They must have had it removed. That's crazy. Okay. Oh my God. That was like cringy. So yeah, so Fox, the video I streamed, they must have had it removed. Fox News probably just got a warning or something. Or had it removed. I don't know. So did you guys see that? Remember I was talking about it a couple days ago or yesterday. I think it was the day before yesterday. That Michigan lawmakers now are furious after the meals that sickened National Guards. Remember I was telling you guys that they were eating chicken with shavings in them and stuff like that? Just pinned you to Twitter. Nice. Wow. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that, Space Drive. That's awesome. So let's bring this up here.
Raw chicken, moldy bread, metal shavings. That's what Michigan National Guard troops say. They were served while serving our country in Washington, D.C.
Badly undercooked, raw, moldy, and even filled with metal shavings is what the Michigan National Guard troops served.
Michigan
raw
lawmakers,
food.
as are the rest of us, are furious. Congressman Bill Huizenga and Jack Bergman join me now.
To me, that's not. That was.
How does this happen?
Bad leadership, bad contract, clearly, and certainly a contractor that is not doing its job.
Definitely.
So I don't blame National Guard leadership. I really do, though, blame anyone at that company who is delivering these meals who thought this would be acceptable, especially after there was complaints and they tried to fix it, and to have it happen again is just completely unacceptable.
Here's a statement from the National Guard. Since January 6th, there have been no National Guard members hospitalized because of illness from food. Approximately 50 have been treated for gastrointestinal complaints. The National Guard continues to closely monitor the quality and safety of meals provided to its personnel. Congressman Bergman, you are a veteran. I am not, but I don't think you need to be a veteran to feel how I'm feeling. Why does it always seem that those who give the most...
It's starting to look that way. It's starting to look that anything that had to do with Trump speaking, they removed it.
Well, I would respectfully disagree. The country as a whole, because we love the men and women who serve. And I tell you what, I felt that love for decades when people thanked me for my service. But the point is, people, as Congressman Huizenga said, people need to be held accountable. And that goes from Guard leadership down through the contractor. Get out from behind your desk.
It's not there.
And get out to the contractor and see what's going on and hold them accountable. It's not that tough. These guardsmen are being held accountable for completion of their mission. It should go both ways.
Agreed. Great point, fair assessment there.
It's not there.
Person, I just think that individuals like yourself who have served so beautifully and admirably for our country deserve the best of the best.
It's not
you shouldn't
there.
have to deal with metal, but you gave an excellent response there. Let me ask you this. Is there an investigation underway somehow to find whatever's responsible for this?
I know Congressman Huizenga and I and others have sent letters, made calls to the Guard Bureau headquarters to make sure that the investigation is ongoing, and we're looking for results right now. Because, again, this is not that tough.
Congressman Huizenga, I guess what frustrates me is that some human along the way had to sign off on this. I mean, this can't happen just out of the blue randomly. Somebody had to sign off on this. How is that person even allowed anywhere near food to begin with?
Well, that's the question we need to ask this contractor. They're the ones that signed off on it. After the first set of complaints, they did change some of their processes, writing temperatures, writing times on the boxes, those kinds of things. And to have that happen again means that after a review where they supposedly fixed it, they still allowed it to happen. So, my solution to this is
exactly.
let's give the troops a per diem, allow them to have an MRE while they're out on the line. But then they can go purchase their own food off of their duty time. But once they're home, then that investigation needs to happen. So we've got this short term where we've got to take care of them, make sure that they've got decent food when they go home on the 12th, hopefully. Then after that, that's when we need to have this investigation.
And that per diem would really be a targeted stimulus because it would help not only the troops get fed, but it would also help those in D.C. that have had their businesses shut down. I'm going to ask one final question to the two of you. You kind of alluded to it, Representative Huizenga. Is it time to bring all our troops home away from the Capitol and back to their homes, specifically in your case, Michigan? Representative Huizenga, to you first.
Yeah, I think so. We've been asking for threat assessments and security briefings. Those have been refused by the speaker so far. We need to know why they have been here. But again, they're here, so let's make sure that we're taking care of them. But it is time to come home, in my opinion.
Congressman Bergman, same question to you.
Short answer is yes. They need to get home with their families, get back to their jobs, because these people are all volunteers, and we need to send a signal to all the men and women who are in the Guard, who might consider joining the Guard, that their service is valued and they're not being screwed with.
Gentlemen, please keep on top of this. I know you will. This is ridiculous. This shouldn't happen in any country, much less the United States of America.
So true. But here's the thing. A couple months ago, I would sit here and I would be like, listen, guys, I think things are getting bad. And I think that things are, whatever. Did I ever think that there was going to be a civil war or anything like that along those lines? I would say no. Now I'm at the point where I don't think it's avoidable anymore. I think it's gonna happen. Oh, that lemon! Wow. I think it's just gonna happen now. Wow. I just think that's going to happen. It's just, I don't think there's a way of getting out of it now. So guys, if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please consider hitting that thumbs up button. It really helped me out. If you want to help even more, share out the video. That'd be great as well. And yeah, somebody was just talking about my command center. Yeah, well, I just playing around with the other camera. I set one up behind me so that you guys could see kind of what I'm dealing with when it comes to the screens and the keyboards and the mouse. And I got one here, I got one here, I got one here in front of me. And these are all things that I do while I'm down talking to each and every one of you. So for the people that are like, oh, go get a job. Well, no, I'm playing around with a lot of stuff here. So and I love it. I absolutely love doing what I'm doing right now, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And it's only going to get better. And I'm trying to up my game, make it look better, make it look better. But all of this is because of you guys. It's all because of you guys. I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you guys. So just keep that in mind. And I don't take that for granted for not 1 minute. Good evening. Wow, you're streaming early. Very cool. Dual screens. Yes. I got actually a bunch of screens. You guys can't even see. You can only see 3 screens. There's actually another 2 that are behind. Right here, there's another monitor here, and there's another one right here. 2 right here, and then the ones you can see, of course, here. So yeah, there's lots going on behind the scene. And of course, I got one microphone here, and then I got another microphone here as a backup, depending on what PC I'm running, because I have to run both to bring in all the feeds. So yeah, it's awesome. But we are streaming on pretty much all the platforms right now: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. We're doing it all at the same time. My stimulus is where? I never got $600. No teleprompter, right? Nope. No teleprompter. I think that's clear some nights because I speak right out of my ass. I think it's very clear that I don't have a teleprompter. All right, let's get this going. So I think there's going to be something bad that's going to happen in the next little bit. We'll have to see if I'm right or wrong, but I just have this bad feeling something's going to happen. Where was this? Okay, so the five question by why Biden has yet to do a solo. Yeah, why hasn't Biden done a solo interview yet or anything like that? Like, he has not talked to any of the press at all. Kamala Harris remains silent too when it comes to Cuomo's sexual harassment. Like, you think that these are the things that they would definitely speak up and talk about right now, but they don't. That's awesome, Wayne. Very motivating to get all tech toys up and running. Well, it looks like this is a pretty impressive setup, but I'll be honest with you, it's not. The only things that are really expensive are the computers everything else, I got the cheapest of the cheap, like you wouldn't even believe. The one monitor is from my office from whenever I had my agency. The other monitor, it was Emma's desk in the front. So those are the two monitors you see. This big, ginormous thing that I got here, this was the TV that was in the lounge room for the customers that came in. And the iPad for bringing in some other feeds. It's all stuff I had. I just kind of duct taped it all together and it works. Minus the computers. I didn't have the computers because I before I was just running the iPad. If you didn't get your stimulus check, you get credit for it on your taxes. That's a good thing to know. Yeah, Cuomo is done. I agree with you on that, Lori. I agree with you on that. All right, so let's take a look. Oh man, I'm beat. I don't know why, but today I've just been like, just straight up beat. Mom who was asked to racially self-identify. Oh, look at this. Let's check this out.
For their son and daughter in every city, in every state, regardless of their race. Not if you ask the president of Los Angeles Teachers Union, who still refuses to send her teachers back into the classroom. She says there's one particular group that's doing all the complaining. Watch.
Some voices are being allowed to speak louder than others. We have to call out the privilege behind the largely white, wealthy parents driving the push for a rushed return.
What? Only white parents want their kids back in school? Does she actually believe that? Sure seems like it, considering the response one parent received from a member of the teachers union. After she tried to complain, the union asked her to prove that she wasn't a wealthy white woman.
Jeez.
Quote, could you tell me how you racially self-identify? Or point me to a citation on your identity? Really?
Wow.
The mother who received this, Miriam Kudra, joins me now for an exclusive interview. Miriam, did you actually receive this email?
I was honestly shocked to be targeted like that, Lawrence.
I think right here, look.
Miriam, did you actually receive this email?
I think he says the F word under his breath. Watch.
I was honestly shocked to be targeted like that, Lawrence. I myself have been a teacher with the Los Angeles Unified School District. I'm an educator in the public education system. And I never expected to have 1,000 indices to prove my last name and figure out my first name, race, and profiling me that way by my fellow colleagues, my own, teachers, fellow teachers.
Miriam, I think
absolutely,
what most
Gordon
people say is, who cares what race you are? I don't care if you're white, or you're black, or whatever, brown. The fact is, the kids belong back in the school.
Well, that's the whole point, is that their argument is that if you're calling for a choice, and what I'm calling for is that you have the choice to be able to return if you wish, that equates to your being racist. And I would like to challenge the UTLA to give those wealthy white and Middle Eastern parents a $1 million challenge and see if they will put their money and their labor and volunteer and all their resources into the African American and Latino communities to help those students come to school first and get everybody back in school together.
Miriam, I've been following this issue all across the country. The effects on children and their mental health. How are your children holding up?
Listen, my background is Afghanistan, and I have seen firsthand what it looks like to deprive a generation of education. And the Taliban would say, well, we're closing the schools right now because of security crisis, because of public crisis. And now you have the UTLA, even Compton Unified is going back, and the UTLA is hell-bent on keeping our schools closed. The kids are suffering. They're being abused. The learning losses are tremendous. The African American and Latino kids are going to suffer earning potential for their incomes.
RH,
The United States
come on.
GDP is going to suffer in the long run, and our competitiveness throughout the globe is going to take a hit because of this. We have to stand up to the UTLA. We cannot continue to follow with this racial war that they're setting up.
I gotta ask you, because you're an immigrant, does it disappoint you that you come to the freest place in the world and they're not acting like it right now?
This is very familiar to me in terms of being able to reframe what is complete injustice as equity and equality.
Morris.
And so I see it very clearly for what it is, and that's why I'm unwilling to accept it. And there's an entire army of parents just like me who will not any longer accept the UTLA's decision to hold these schools hostage. The entire country
Propaganda
is open. The restaurants, the banks, the gas stations, the malls, everything is open. The schools are sitting a ghost town in Los Angeles, and we cannot afford this any longer.
Marion, we'll continue to follow the story. We are with you. And there's a lot of people in this audience that have been emailing me.
No, there's not. Nobody's emailing you. Nobody gives a shit. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. Everybody wants their kids to go back to school, but as long as it's safe. What the fuck am I saying? Everybody wants their fucking kid back at school. One, they need the education. Two, the professionals have been saying that they're not at risk at all. And three, if we have our kids at home any longer, we're not going to have any kids left. I love my kids to death. Don't get me wrong. I love everything about them. But you know what I love even more? Is that I'm talking like this, and then I look over at the left screen, and I haven't changed the screen yet, and this is what I see his face look like. Like, I paused him just as I started making those comments, and then boom, that's the face I get right there. Like, he's just so surprised. Like, what did he just say? Oh, crap. All right, so thought you were in a COVID camp or something. No, not yet. I'm not in a COVID camp. I haven't traveled. I don't go out anywhere except for Tim Hortons, which I do not have tonight. But I do have 1 bottle and 2 bottles of water. So I have water. I do not have anything else. Censorship makes more radicals. Yeah. Well, see, and that's the thing right now, right? They're doing everything they can to stop people from spreading what is going on in the world right now, or at least, at the very least, locally. Like, there's been no big no big thing from Justin Trudeau or anybody else like that about what's going on with the schools. Or the, sorry, not even schools, but the COVID camps or the isolation camps or anything like that. So, yeah, Vila says boring. You talking about me? Boring? Sorry, Vila, if I'm boring you. But yeah, they're all they're doing is they're basically just overlooking everything, and they're denying everything that's even going on right now. And the very fact that I want to try to talk and say what's going on here, it's scary, because I look at what YouTube just did to me after everything I've done, put your heart, and they literally don't the water's boring, yeah, and they literally don't give you any excuse, like no excuse at all to what you've done. So then it makes you just want to be like, I can't talk. I literally can't talk. You can't say anything against anybody anymore. So what are you supposed to say? Like, it's ridiculous. Wayne needs a toaster oven and a cot too. Yeah, I need. Well, that chair that's right there behind me, that turns into a bed. It lies right down. It's like a hospital bed. I think that's where I'm going to just stream from now on. Just going to lie down, go to bed, and pretend like I'm sleeping. Turn everything on and just run everything on the arms of the chair and just sleep with Wayne. Wait a minute, that didn't sound right. You know what I mean. All right, let's get some Kamala Harris. Silence on... Yeah, she's silent.
We're learning more to...
Oh, what was the other one? Oh, yes. Check this out.
Let's go to Jerusalem right now. Joining us, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. Mr. Netanyahu, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Netanyahu?
Good morning. Great to be with you.
It's great to have you as well. First question. After a 5-year investigation, the International Criminal Court's looking into whether
she's
Israel,
stunning.
In particular, Israeli
just poked her
soldiers
in the
committed war crimes in targeting civilians. We've seen the headlines. Tell us what you can about this story.
Yeah, they did it to a lot of
I
channels.
think this is an outrageous decision by a politicized kangaroo court that goes against the one democracy in the Middle East, Israel, whose soldiers
One democracy.
honorably and scrupulously.
Okay, I gotta ask a question before I get into this segment of what I'm going to be talking about. Is there anybody here that is for Israel? Because I'm about to piss you right off. I'm just saying. How many people in here like Israel? I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about the government, like this guy. You know, Mr. Yahoo. Okay. Huh? Anybody? Okay. Because here's your chance. If you like me, but you don't want to ruin it, now's the time. I like Israel as a country. I do not like the government. So I'm about to piss you off. Because what they're doing over there is completely unacceptable. And John says, me, yes. Democrat lady, yes. Oh, I'm going to piss off everybody tonight. All right, let's just play what he's saying and I'll say my piece.
Do everything to avoid civilian casualties as they're fighting the worst terrorists on earth, or do everything in their power to commit civilian casualties. So who do they put on investigation? Israel. They don't put on Syria, where the Assad regime has butchered over 500,000 people, or Iran, that every Monday and Wednesday commits these horrible war crimes. This is pure anti-Semitism. This is a perversion of justice. This is something that happens to us today, but tomorrow it'll happen to you. In fact, your soldiers they're thinking about investigating your soldiers. So this is an affront to all democracies, and everyone should stand together.
Oh, it's not about going against Israel. It's about the fact that of what kind of behavior the Israel troops do while they're over there. Uphill says, sorry, Wayne, I'm a yes to on Israel. Well, I've seen firsthand. Here's a question. Who here has gone over to Israel and has seen what they do when it comes to the blockades in Palestine and all of that stuff? Who here has gone over and seen how they handle that situation? Not just what they do online and the propaganda, what you see in the news and everything else. How many people have heard and seen how they handle this situation and with Palestine? Has anybody been over there? I'm really curious. Wayne, keep that poker face. Israel has the right to protect themselves. Well, Space Drive, I'm about to make you hate me. Well, absolutely they have the right to protect themselves. But when you watch a soldier shoot kids, I think that's unacceptable. I'm going to lose a lot of subscribers tonight. Because I've seen firsthand where the soldiers are shooting right into crowds with their guns, and the only threat they have is rocks coming at them. Morris, come on. Don't even talk like that. There's never been a Palestine. They may have been a reason they did it. Oh yeah, space drive. Yeah, for sure there was a reason. There was three young kids and an elder that walked up to the line and threw rocks at them, and they opened fire on them. Killed the kid. 9 years old. Kid took 2 shots to the chest and 1 grazed his neck. Yeah. Not one thing. Not one thing happened to that soldier. No discipline, no nothing. Would you like to see another? I want to hear another story of something I've seen firsthand. I seen a kid. Don't throw rocks. Okay. It says, do I have the video? Yeah, right here. This is where I have the video. Right here. That's where the video is. Oh, they got one of the most serious militaries in the world. Some of the best military. The IDF is some of the best trained military in the world in pretty much all aspects. They have great funding, they have great training, they have everything. Maybe a isolated situation. No. Out of 4 months, 21 kids were shot under the age of 16. 9 of which I seen firsthand. Four of which I investigated myself afterwards and came to the conclusion that they were, well, 2 of them were holding pencils. One was a little girl named that was 7 years old. Kathy, do I have PTSD? My therapist says I do. I don't believe I do, but my therapist says I do. Wayne, you're turning into a conservative radical. No, what? How am I turning into a conservative radical over expressing what I've seen firsthand? So if you see something happen and you say what you've seen, that turns you into conservative radical? I'm curious. Democrat lady, how is seeing something happen in front of you turn you into a conservative radical? I'm really curious about that. I've been all over the world. All over. 18 years of investigations of multiple different agencies. Yes, I've been all over. No, don't get me wrong. There was some situations where, they needed to protect themselves because there is there is situations where they had to. Imagine what? I only seen a bit of that. Wayne Live, my message are getting deleted. Space drive. My hands are right here. I'm not deleting them. And there's no mods in the channel, so I don't know who's deleting them. I'll keep my hands right here. I'm not deleting your messages. The Kurds. Notice Wayne won't even mention the Kurds because they get treated much worse than the Palestinians. Oh no, of course they get treated like shit for sure. But Brian, don't come in here and say, oh look, notice Wayne won't mention. No, it's just because I didn't see the chat. I didn't see the chat, so it's not that I won't mention it. Because trust me, Brian, I have no fucking problem saying shit when I mention it. So, Don't put in all big cap locks. Look, Wayne won't even mention it. There's not one topic I won't talk about. I don't have a problem not holding my tongue. That's why people either like me or they hate me. Oh, I'm not. Before, I love. How, at what point did I say? At what point did I say turn your back on Israel? Can somebody, screenshot that or screen record that? At what point did I say that I was against Israel? All I said was some of the things that they do is unacceptable. Which is, I could say that about pretty much every country in the fucking world. I am actually here every night. I watch TV and listen while doing crafts, so I'm here, but not in chat. Thanks. I appreciate that. So I just love how people just quickly will turn around and start throwing things out there and be like, oh, did you notice that Wayne won't, he won't mention this, or Wayne's not talking about this, or Wayne's, no, it's just because I didn't see the chat. We got 140 people in here talking, and a bunch, and the chat's moving quickly, and I got, not to mention, 4 other chats going at the exact same time. Talk about what annoys you about Emma. Ooh, I'm not stupid. I'd rather talk about political stuff than that. I'm not suicidal, 570. I'm not suicidal. YouTube is deleting everything. I don't see them deleting anything. I don't see them deleting anything. YouTube has an algorithm censoring live chat. YouTube, that's getting through. Yeah, okay. 570, okay, I retract my last statement. I won't talk about everything. I won't talk about that. My stuff is going through. Yeah, I don't see. Every once, I haven't noticed it this stream, but every once in a while I will get a Google moderator. It says Google moderator removed that. They popped off my earlier post. Really? There was no right or wrong, just fighting with no winners. That's the truth. There's orbs flying around me. That's possible. Yeah, Brian, does it say Google moderator behind it? I can screenshot you the deleted post. Yeah, if you can, that'd be awesome. Okay, I'm seeing like message retracted, but that's from you guys. My hands are right here. I'm not deleting nothing. I'm really curious. I'm really curious because I'm looking hard to see if I see oh yeah. Yeah. It says Google. Yeah, I just seen it. There's a Google moderator. So there's some it's I just seen. I just seen that one. I haven't seen it again. That's the first one on this channel I've seen. Yeah, we must have talked about something that triggered it. I wonder what that could have been. Clint, your message was just taken away. Clint Walker, your message was just taken away, and you're a member of the channel. Democrat lady, you need mods? Yeah, maybe. Okay, Blind Dude, did you just write that? I think Blind Dude just wrote that. Yeah. Wait a minute. Okay. Fuck, you had me you had me sitting there wondering, because I was gonna be like, if they're doing this like nonstop, that's crazy. Anyways, long story short, guys, I'm not saying turn your back on Israel. I'm not saying all of that shit. I'm just saying that corruption is everywhere, and I'm telling you right now, I've seen the soldiers over there, and the shit that happens with those soldiers and the people, regardless of what you think. It's not acceptable behavior for anybody, and so, and I don't care what nation it is in the world. Okay, let me be very clear about it. I don't care what nation it is in the world. When kids are dying, shit needs to change. Simple. I don't care what your beliefs are, what your background is, what your religion is. When kids are dying, things need to change. Okay, and I could tell you right now, hands down, I don't give a shit if it's war, because I know war, and I'm telling you right now, if kids are dying, which they are, and nobody will ever tell me otherwise unless you can erase my memory, and I'm not talking about watching videos, I'm talking about seeing shit straight with my own eyes. It needs to change. It needs to change everywhere. Kids are dying over there. Kids are dying in the United States. Kids are dying here in Canada. Kids are dying everywhere. So to think that there's one nation in this world right now that isn't corrupt and isn't causing harm to kids, it's happening everywhere. Just the only thing is that we got to remember, some people in some countries mask it in a better way than others. That's all they do. Anyone dying is not good. Well, I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that now. 5 years ago, I wouldn't have agreed with that. 5 years ago, I wouldn't agree that. 5 years ago, I would have agreed that war, you need to people. Well, you're gonna go to war, then that's it. Wayne can't talk shit about more. It's taken down. Mr. Curious, well, it's not me taking it down, so I can tell you that right now. I'm a nurse, and I could tell sometimes when I get done watching you, I think about you, and I thought you might have PTSD. Nothing bad, I just think a lot of times it would help you to talk. Kathy, I do. Listen, I'll be honest about my situation. There's a lot of things that I don't talk about. You're right, Kathy. There's a lot of things that kind of set me off, if you haven't noticed. And yes, I'm not ashamed of it. I see somebody from time to time because apparently I have PTSD, but I'm not an alcoholic. I don't do drugs. I don't do anything. I just have a hard time sleeping. That's what you know how you guys are always asking. Oh, hey guys, do you ever sleep? Do you ever sleep? No, I don't. Sleeping is not an area I like to go when it comes to my life. So sleeping is like going through hell for me. It's just not something I like to do. So I like to stream. I like to talk. I like to piss people off. And apparently, yes, I do have PTSD and a really small penis to go with it. Well, I don't know about that last part, but they are monitoring your channel. You might want to change topic. Yeah, that's why I'm talking about small penises. You're not an alcoholic. You're a professional drinker. Yeah. You have PTSD. Yeah. I don't sleep. That's I don't know. I don't think. Listen, maybe I'm still in denial. I don't think I have PTSD. I'll be honest with you. I really still have a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that I'm supposed to. I have PTSD. I still have a hard time wrapping my head around that kind of crap. But it is what it is. Never mind. Not deleted. No, this is good for you. Yeah, it is. In many ways than one. In many ways than you can imagine. Psychology with Wayne mods can go now. My mouths are so itching doesn't bother me. To talk, yeah. Oh, I won't talk about certain things, but I learned to deal with it. Kathy says I have PTSD. That's why I can't sleep too, Wayne. That's the only issue I have. Well, I'm sure I have other issues, but that's the only issue I have is sleeping. And denial. I think I got denial. I think for the longest time I denied it completely because when you hear somebody talking about, oh, I got PTSD, you automatically, people just are like, okay, fuckers faking it. They're faking it. Like, I don't got time to hear your shit. That's why I don't talk about it. That's why I don't believe I have it, to be honest with you. Anyways, I'm moving along. I think I'm going to not play that video for many reasons. Here.
For more on this, let's bring in former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf. Great to have you. I want to show you a couple of numbers here. So CBP, Customs and Border Patrol, had a 1,700...
I have it, but if you're not sympathetic, no worries. Hey, I'm not saying people... let me just touch base on that again. I'm not saying if you have it, I'm not sympathetic to you. Do I think it's real? Absolutely, I think it's real. Do I feel sorry for people? Yeah. But I do also see a lot of people that use PTSD as an excuse to try to get out of trouble or try to blame problems that they have on it. But I have friends that have like severe PTSD. I have a friend that hasn't left his house in almost 8 years. And I'm not saying like has not left his house in 8 years. Cannot go off his doorstep in 8 years. So, yeah, is PTSD real? Well, fuck yeah, it is real. I know. That's why I don't sleep. Wayne needs new glasses. D1R3. Why? What did I miss? How small? French fry? Maybe you should supersize it. No. Yeah, small fry. What did I miss? D1R3. Deseret, good clarification, buddy. There you go. Sympathetic. Okay. Not sympathetic. Jeez. Yeah, I read that fast. Sorry. You're right. Yeah. I read that wrong. You're right. I do need new glasses. It's because I'm reading. I'm going back and forth now. Now I got to get used to the reading multiple chats. That's my problem. So I go from one over to the other. It's my PTSD. I could. That's what. I'm kidding. Didn't leave your house for almost 3 years. Yeah, it's a nasty thing. It's a nasty thing. Men with small tools have even shorter fuses. Shit. Mike, do you think that I have do you guys think I have a short fuse? There's a question. Do I have a short fuse? Do you think I have a short fuse?
163 unaccompanied migrant children in his
Squirrel.
custody as of Tuesday, 625 of whom had been held more than 72 hours. I think that's going to be another issue, right? Because there is this issue of how long you can hold them. is going to come up?
Blame it on what's convenient.
Well, absolutely. I think the numbers across the border, whether it's single adults, whether it's families, or UACs, are up across the board. And particularly UACs are troubling because you can't release them. You can't do the catch and release like you can with the family units and the single adults that we see that the Biden administration is doing. So what does that mean? You have to hold them in Border Patrol facilities, and then you have to hold them in HHS facilities. And what happens when you have so many is it starts to back up, and I think that's what we're seeing now. And so you're seeing kids held for longer
domestic
than 72
violence,
hours,
yeah,
which is really the top limit of how long they should be held in Border Patrol facilities, which are essentially jail-like settings.
Walking
you
Dead.
Get them to HHS,
Nice.
So that they have a more appropriate setting. But at the end of the day, you need to send the right message, and the wrong message is currently being sent to the traffickers, the smugglers, and others. That now is not the time to come. There is a time to come, it's just not now. And that message is too nuanced. They're not going to get it, and you're seeing the numbers just increase across the board.
Dana mentioned that some of them are wearing T-shirts. That's an extraordinary thing, is it not? And have you seen that before? They're wearing T-shirts, let us in?
I have not, and I think what it tells you is that the advocacy community, there are NGOs and others, that their entire goal is to make sure that anyone that shows up at the border gets into the United States and is able to stay perhaps for years and years, regardless of whether they actually have a legitimate asylum claim or not. And I'm sure that these types of organizations are providing these T-shirts to these folks, trying to send a political message and trying to play politics with the safety and the security of that border.
I'm really interested in the cartel angle and what we do there. There's a sheriff in Arizona named Mark Daniels. He's in Cochise County. And he said, we just built roads for the cartels. Think about that.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Sheriff Dan.
Is there a difference between... Now, this is going to sound very ignorant, okay? But I already know the answer to this. Is there a difference between the Mexican government and the cartel? Are they separate entities, or do you guys are they the same, or are they just blended? I'm curious to see what people think about that.
Daniels pretty well, and a lot of the law enforcement community along that border are seeing firsthand the results of what we have seen over the past 4 or 5 weeks. And
Dirty Polish
be
boy.
The ones that are going to have to deal with the increase in illegal apprehensions, the public safety risk, and everything else that goes on in those communities. And you see that when Border Patrol is overwhelmed, state and local law enforcement are going to have to step up. But I think it's important to note, there's not one individual that is smuggled across that border or comes across that border illegally that's not paying a cartel, a trafficker, or a smuggler to do that. And so essentially the Biden administration is fueling more and more cartels, making them more profitable, because each and every person that they send across that border is money in their pocket.
Wow, that's an extraordinary thing to say. The administration will not call this a crisis yet. Maybe that changes.
Yet.
What would you call it?
Oh, it's absolutely a crisis. I mean, when you start building tent facilities, HHS facilities, and DHS is certainly looking at facilities, DHS is redeploying officers from the northern border to the southern border. You have comments about they're working 24/7. All indications is it's a crisis. Everyone knows it's a crisis. They need to be honest with the American people. And certainly those communities along those borders are experiencing an influx of individuals that are likely to...
So true. So here, the CIA basically opened up the doorway for all the stuff that comes up from that direction, which is deep ties into pretty much the government over there. And can you guys explain something to me? How is it? I'm watching the news all the time. You know, I get emails of what happens in the community and people getting busted with drugs and all this other shit. Can you explain to me one thing? How is it that there's a guy all the way up here in Canada that gets caught with 20-some keys of cocaine? 20-some keys. I think it was like 25 or something keys of cocaine. And like another 10 or 13 keys of crystal meth. How does he get that across from all the way from Mexico to Canada when everything's fucking closed? How does that happen? How are the borders closed Everything's closed. How does somebody get that shit all the way up here? You see? Boat. Coke is racist. It's white. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So you're telling me that there's not people all at the top of the chain, at the top, that literally do not help or benefit from this shit? For sure there is. For sure there is. All right, let's see what we got here. Jeez. Yeah. Okay. That's one. Okay, what's this? Let me see this. Email you screenshots. Deleted. Wow. Yeah, what you posted definitely got deleted. That's messed up. Message deleted. Oh yeah, message deleted, not retracted. Message deleted. Weird. Huh. That's messed up. That's messed up that they were deleted. So anyways, going back to what I was saying, I seen the Google moderator remove it, so it had to have been that. Wayne timed me out today. Blind dude. Oh, see, I didn't know who it was, blind dude, that was doing that. You see? See, I didn't know that was you. I didn't know that was you. Now I'm timing you out again right now just for that. I'm just kidding. I'm not timing you out. YouTube deleted perfectly fine messages for a few days now. Yeah, well, I don't think they like me very much, to be honest with you. I'll be completely honest with you. I think YouTube does not like me. My fault. I asked you the other day if Google Mods had came in deleting messages lately. Yeah, no, it's not your fault. I think it has something to do with the fact that I think there's keywords that get said when they're said. It notifies somebody and then they come in manually and look at stuff. Because I've been getting notifications of a lot of stuff. Gets non-restricted travel and can't get milk without being tracked. Yeah, there you go. Addison. Oh, yeah, Canadian. There you go. Twitch says Coke gets a non-restricted travel, and I can't get milk without being tracked. That was on Twitch. That was awesome. Mr. Curious, anal bleaching. What's like? Okay. Nancy gets poop on her pillow. Ooh, that's nasty. Nobody wants poop on their pillow, that's for sure.
Just getting texts in the break from friends who live in Washington, D.C., where I spent 30 years. People being shot all over the city. Totally third world place. People living on the streets by the thousands. Do any members of Congress who are worried about QAnon notice this? Does Michael McCall notice this? What is...
I have a Discord set up. I got it all set up. Just figuring out how to use it. Today was kind of a mess. I'll get back into the... hold on, Tucker. Stop giving me that face. So, two things I was working on today. One, got the Discord server up. I got all this basic stuff going on it. Two, I'm in the middle of working out how to stream right to my website, because I got somebody that can rent me a server for like, I don't know, like $20 a month kind of deal. And basically we can have free speech on there. So if we ever decide we want to have one day a week where we just get on here and shoot the shit, yell and scream at each other, kick and whatever, we can do that. no problem. All right, Tucker, stop giving me that face.
It's happening to our capital city. They're allowing it to happen. Nothing's more infuriating than that, except maybe what's happening to Dr. Seuss. Because if it could happen to Dr. Seuss, it might happen to you. Dr. Seuss went from being a beloved childhood author to worse than Hitler in just a matter of days. On eBay, you are allowed to shop for copies of Mein Kampf. You can buy all the racist filth you want if it's about white fragility, and Robin DiAngelo wrote it. But a number of Dr. Seuss books have been purged for, quote, offensive imagery. A spokesman from eBay put it this way, quote, eBay is currently sweeping our marketplace to remove these items. So now you're not even allowed to buy a used copy of Dr. Seuss's books. It's just too dangerous.
Wow.
Matt Walsh is the host of the Matt Walsh Show. He joins us tonight to explain
Steve,
what this means. Matt, thanks so much for coming on.
They just said what you said.
Dr. Seuss and B, I think it's the big deal that I think it is, but I don't think I've seen a more depressing story, I don't know when, than eBay is making it impossible to buy used copies of Dr. Seuss books. Like, what does this portend? Seriously.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not just about Dr. Seuss. By the way, I thought that if the left was ever going to come after Dr. Seuss, it'd be for like promoting elder abuse with Hop on Pop or something like that. But they chose even more.
Hop on Pop. Elder abuse. Oh man.
An even more absurd reason, but it's not just Dr. Seuss. The point is we have these major corporations that now have the ability and are exercising that ability to shut down speech that they find offensive, the question is not whether, do they have the right to do it? I think that's totally the wrong question. Is it good for the country?
Yeah, isn't this like a repeat of shit that happens in history, where they stop the religion, then they stop the books, and then they take away your weapons, then your freedom of speech. So let me get this straight: your freedom of speech, your weapons, your religion, and now the books. I think I've seen this story somewhere before, and I'm not quite sure where I've seen this before. But I've seen this before. I've heard this story. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where. Oh, I seen that on the camera. That was weird. Anyways, I've seen this story before. Who is responsible for gun bans? Yeah, there you go. Hitler's playbook. That was weird. I just seen that on the camera there.
When major corporations can look at entire categories of speech and say, well, you're not allowed to see that anymore or read that. You can't read that book to your child anymore. We're just going to get rid of that. Is that a good situation for the country? I think obviously not.
We ceded so much control to extremists without even knowing. If you're banning Dr. Seuss from eBay, you are by definition an extremist. I mean, that's what an extremist is. And yet they control our ability to buy books and to listen to music, and they control our pictures and everything we've ever written on the cloud, and like they control everything. Why didn't we realize we might come to a day like this?
Yeah, well, that's a good question, and the point also is that if Amazon and eBay and these other companies say, well, we're not going to call Dr. Seuss a conservative author, but they've also been doing that where they've been shutting down conservative books and saying that's hate speech. Well, Amazon just makes a blanket policy and says, well, conservative books are hate speech, then that means that those books aren't going to be published anymore because publishers are going to say there's no point in publishing a book that isn't going to be distributed. And that means that speech is just shut down entirely. That's why the Daily Wire just did a poll, in fact, and found that 2/3 of Americans are opposed to this kind of wokeism from corporate America for this very reason. By the way, you also mentioned, this is all happening with Dr. Seuss all at once.
I got a question. Did they stop the production of Aunt Jemima syrup and Aunt Jemima products? Did they stop that yet? I haven't checked in a while. I used to have a container here of Aunt Jemima syrup, but my kids ended up eating it. So, my fucking white kids ate the Jamaica Aunt Jemima syrup. Like, I don't know. Did they stop making it yet? No. They changed the name. Shit. That sucks. Yeah, I come home and all of a sudden my kids are like just pouring it all over their food and shit, and I was like, I was saving that, but nah, man. Shit. They just relabeled it. That's stupid.
That's a good point, because Dr. Seuss lived 100 years ago. His books, some of these books that are being banned right now, have been in publication for 80 years. Yet we just decided right now that it's a problem. Just like over the summer, we decided that like 1,000 statues all of a sudden have to be torn down all at once. What does that tell you? It tells you that this is mass hysteria. That's what this is, and it should be. If for no other reason, there are a lot of reasons to oppose it. But we could oppose it simply on the fact that it's mass hysteria, where all of these things are being taken down all at once.
But with a purpose. I mean, they're demanding that you disavow your own ancestors, that you hate your own country, that, you hate the books you read to your own children. I mean, it's deep, I think. I appreciate your coming on tonight, Matt. Matt Walsh.
Thanks a lot.
That's crazy. Ooh, there we go. All right. Yeah, I should have hit it, but my kids are like scavengers. They'll find everything anywhere. So bad that the world's coming to this shit. At what point do you say enough is enough? How Joe Biden made history as the most absent president, Yeah, I don't get that shit either. Issues with socialist COVID Bill 20 Pelosi. All right. Time to change the pace here. Let's do this. Tool hires former Huawei executive. Okay. Jail pastor bail hearing. Oh, check this out. This is our... Where was that? Oh, there's something I wanted to show you guys. Where was it? Hold on. Shit. I think it's on Facebook. I'll have to check on Facebook. Here you go.
For decision until 9 a.m. Friday morning, where we will find out if Pastor Coates will continue to be a prisoner of conscience and politics in what we are told is a free and liberal Western democracy, or if he will be released, because religious freedom and the right to practice your faith and congregate together is still a protected charter right in this country, pandemic or not. Sheila Gunn-Reid for Rebel News, and I just got out of the virtual bail hearing for Pastor James Coates. Now, for those of you who have been following along at home and seeing some of our coverage, Pastor James Coates is the pastor at Grace Life Church west of Edmonton, and Pastor James Coates has been in provincial custody since February 16th. That's the day he turned himself in for the newfangled...
This is a pastor that is living in these conditions in a locked up facility like this for talking about God and Jesus and giving people hope in a hopeless world right now. This is what they're doing to the priests and the pastors. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Coronavirus crime of having church. You see, in Alberta, church services are limited to 15% of fire code capacity. Grace Life has not been following that, saying that that violates their charter right of freedom of religion and freedom of assembly. And so, the church itself has been under near constant surveillance by public health officials and the local police. Coates himself was issued a $1,200 public health fine before he was arrested February 7th and then released with an undertaking he failed to sign to force him to follow those public health orders. But Coates held church again to a maximum capacity crowd on February 14th, at which point Coates was advised to turn himself in the following Tuesday, which he did. And as I said, he's been in custody.
Look at this. Like, look at these. Like, this is not acceptable for somebody that is preaching the Word of God. This is the living conditions we give them. This is not acceptable.
Now, Coates is in the maximum security provincial remand facility, the Edmonton Remand
Look at
Center.
that.
He has been given bail, but he cannot, in good conscience, comply with the bail conditions. And those conditions, again, are the same ones that would require him to violate his conscience, to limit his church services to 50%
Hey, will you say
of capacity.
Crafty? Crafty's in here?
Coates remain.
Hold on. Crafty's in here? Hold on. Where? I didn't see Crafty. Craft Finest, where are you? I haven't seen you in forever. Oh, there you are. Wayne, did you get your mobile home? No, I did not. I did not get anything. I'm in the middle of trying to work out something right now with keeping this house. Fingers crossed. If not, I do have the money put aside to put a down payment on one. I don't quite have the money yet to buy one, but I do have a down payment, I guess you could say.
In custody, and he could remain in custody until his trial in May. So he served 2 weeks already, and he could be in custody for another 2 months. So today, Coates' lawyer, James Kitchen of the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms, was arguing that those bail conditions should be eliminated for Pastor Coates. And I'll give you a quick update of what went down in court today. So, I should tell you
Queen
that there's
Law,
great
I haven't.
interest in this case. However, you wouldn't know it if you got all your news from the mainstream media. At one point, there were 400 members of the public on the WebEx call tuning in to the bail hearing. It's completely abnormal for what goes on at a routine bail hearing at the Edmonton Law Courts. Now,
I got to see that WebEx.
each lawyer, Kitchen and the Crown Prosecutor, were given 10 minutes to argue their case. And I should note, the Crown Prosecutor here is not being identified by the court because she says, the Crown, says that she is receiving threats. And so for her personal safety, she's not giving her name in these WebEx bail hearings, which is absolutely abnormal. The Crown is arguing that there is a substantial likelihood of endangerment to the public if they release Coates. And that's why they need to keep Pastor Coates in jail. Now, Kitchen is arguing the flip side of this, and he's got some historical evidence to back up his claims. You see, Kitchen argues that since the church has been at capacity since at least July, so half a year, without becoming a super spreader event the way the Crown says that they are, that's proof enough that the church is not a danger to the public health. Furthermore,
where do I go for that?
Where
do I go for WebEx?
That binds Coates behind bars is not something.
Trying to figure out the app that she was using for WebEx. Rebel News Chick is cute, but not as cute as you, Wayne. Thanks, Clint. I appreciate that. And thanks for that donation. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
That if he's found guilty of.
If I could find the WebEx app that she's using, I could stream it. WebEx. I'm gonna have to do some homework on that. So I want to find that.
You would serve provincial time for. So if it's not a jailable offense, if he's convicted, why is it a jailable offense for him now? Coates' lawyer, Kitchen, argues that this whole thing is absolutely without precedent.
Yeah.
The Crown is also arguing that it would undermine the justice system to release Coates without these conditions. But Kitchen is arguing that the imprisonment of a Christian pastor on a matter of conscience is, for normal people, what would be drawing the justice system into disrepute. It's something...
I'm not talking about get the WebEx to watch the pasture stuff. I'm talking about getting the WebEx to see how many people are being charged with these offenses. That's why.
That Kitchen called, and I quote,
sorry, I should have clarified that.
Embarrassment to the courts. Now, the whole matter has been set over for decision until 9 a.m. Friday morning, where we will find out if Pastor Coates will continue to be a prisoner of conscience and politics in what we are told is a free and liberal Western democracy, or if he will be released, because religious freedom and the right to practice your faith and congregate together is still a protected charter right in this country, pandemic or not. For Rebel News, here outside the Edmonton Law Courts, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid.
That's crazy. Polish, what did you say? Go ahead and say all that wacko stuff online, man. You might need a Dr. Phil if you catch me outside. You might need a Dr. Phil if you catch me outside. Who are you talking to? Polish, who are you talking to, my man? It is Canadians taking them back by force. Now, here's what... Oh, just okay. I thought somebody in the chat was doing something. I hear you. Okay, so in regards to one of the comments there of saying, here's what's going on in regards to the pastors being arrested.
Everyone should be able to have their own freedom, their own rights, but with this COVID stuff going on, it's kind of messing everyone's rights up. For me, like, I would love to go to church eventually, but when can we? We don't know when can we?
Church is essential. This is a case that is of the utmost importance because I feel this is evolving into something that can be considered spiritual warfare. And when they can shut down church and allow people to congregate at a bar or go to a liquor store or go to a strip club, then you know we're in spiritual warfare when they're shutting down the churches. So I feel it's important to cover these types of events and to be here in support as well.
The church needs to gather with its whole body of believers. The church is compared to a body, and we know a normal body physically can't function if you didn't have your hand. Same thing in the religious world. The church can't fully function unless all its members are together.
Julia Humphrey here with Rebel News, standing in front of the Vancouver Law Courts for a huge moment in history. If you've been following us at rebelnews.com, then you know that the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms brought forth a petition on behalf of plaintiffs over matters of freedom of religion and the right to peacefully protest. Now, one of the plaintiffs, or I should say some of the plaintiffs, are the 3 churches in the Fraser Valley area that have been opened with a COVID-19 plan in.
Kathy Waters, wow, crazy. This message is held for review. Kathy, wait a minute. Did you just donate $50? Did you have a? Oh, okay, no, Polish. Her mother's her manager. Okay, Kathy, you holy smokes, like. You didn't want to say a message with that or say something? That's crazy. Thank you so much for that. I don't know what to say. Thank you for that. That's crazy. Kathy Waters, you're awesome. Absolutely. Checking heartbeat on all the girls. Wow. Just wow, Kathy. Yeah. Man, I'm like she's like come over and she's like, Just took out everything. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that.
Place since Dr. Bonnie Henry forbid all church gatherings back in November. They just want the right to be able to open, and in some sort of bizarre last-ditch effort, BC's government came up with a compromise just before this matter is to be heard, March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and that was, get this, to allow Christians and Jews to gather outside for an hour, up to 25 people. They're not allowed to sing. They're not allowed to chant, which is prayer for some people. And they have to wear a mask.
I love all of you guys.
It's a worship service where worship is forbidden. That's what singing and chanting is to some people. And not only that, basically that means the only type of people in British Columbia who are mandated to wear a mask outdoors are Christians and Jews. You can't make this stuff up, even when they're attempting to say they're not being discriminatory by leaving absolutely everything open. I'm talking bars, restaurants. In one case in Port Moody, linked to 300 cases at just that restaurant.
Wow.
Leaving all those things open and then forbidding church services and worship services. They still want to throw a mask when you can be outside and social distance.
That's crazy. Yeah. I want to check something here quickly. I'm going to play this here in 2 seconds, but like here, what they're doing to us up here, this is coming down toward you guys. Like I said, that guy that got, or that girl that got a bench warrant for opening up her restaurant in the States. Man, how shitty would that be? Knowing that the police want to put you in jail right at the same time as there's a massive COVID outbreak. Which reminds me of something I want to check here. I'll just go play this.
And let's talk about why it only applies to the Jews and the Christians. Now, Justice Hingston is the one hearing the matter today, and I did listen in towards the beginning of the court hearing, and he basically posed the question, what matter is it of the courts to, rule on Dr. Bonnie Henry's orders? And I say, what matter is it of Dr. Bonnie Henry's to rule on how Christians and Jews or any religion in Canada should worship? Let's hear what the protesters and some of the pastors and some of the people who have traveled afar have to say here. Why was it important for you to be here today?
Because I believe in freedom. I believe in freedom of assembly. I believe in people exchanging ideas. It doesn't have to be ideas that I agree with or even disagree with. I take the Aristotelian maxiom of the sign of an educated mind is one who can listen to ideas without necessarily accepting them. But first and foremost, this is a matter of freedom of assembly.
Everyone should be able to have their own freedom, their own rights. But with this COVID stuff going on, it's kind of messing everyone's rights up. For me, I would love to go to church eventually, but when can we? We don't know when can we?
Church is essential. This is a case that is of the utmost importance because I feel this is evolving into something that could be considered spiritual warfare. And when they can shut down church and allow people to congregate at a bar or go to a liquor store or go to a strip club, then we're in spiritual warfare when they're shutting down the churches. So I feel...
You see, and exactly what he just said, and I strongly believe that too. There's a war going on right now, and we need to step up. We need to step up and do something. What? I'm not sure exactly. But one thing I do know is that we need to make sure that we're prepared for what's coming down right now. Because if you think that all of this stuff that's happening around the world is because of just the elections or Biden or Trump or any of that shit, you're mistaken. This pandemic or whatever you want to call it is part of a big thing that, what I don't know. Is it real? Leave that up to you guys as well. Give this here. I don't want to have a. I don't want to say anything. I love kids, Wayne. Oh, they are my heart, and I know you have kids. They are such a blessing. Yeah, I have lots of kids.
It's important to cover these types of events and to be here in support as well.
We have a fight for the churches that are being shut down across the land. So I said to Pastor Art Pulowski from Calgary, why don't you come on over? Because they wrongly label him all kinds of things as well. And so we're here.
No, the mosques aren't closed. They're open. They're open.
We just believe that, under 30, nobody has died of COVID-19 in BC. Under 30, the stats, you can check them out, and I know that you will, because Rebel Media is the boss.
Do some research, because the virus is actually not at all what the mainstream media is saying that it is. It's not actually, killing like the Black Plague or anything. And then just like looking at what is the higher rule, like how God says we're supposed to meet as a church, and that is more important than, the physical safety if the virus even was that big.
Our churches have been shut, and I have been outside, not in my church. There are so many reasons why we need the body of Christ. One, for strengthening. Number two, we need our elders to lay hands on us. We need the anointing. We need to have the corporate worship of our God together. We have it for communion. We do these things together. This is not happening.
Freedoms of worth doing anything, whatever it takes, worth dying for. We're taking a stand. And we got to make sure that it stays this way in this country for ourselves and our children. Again, coming from Soviet Union myself, the only religion we had in our country was communism, right? And then indoctrination started from birth, and I was an example of that. So now the new religion that we have to stop is COVIDism, right? And that's why we're here, to ensure that COVIDism stops and we have freedoms in this country, and we'll do whatever it takes to stay it this way.
God is the creator of heavens and the earth. He is a mighty, and he has a mighty warriors. And when we submit to the Spirit of God, the Bible says greater is he that is in us than the one that is in our enemies. So how can they stop a living God? They can't.
I think there needs to be a complete restoration of the church, and if this trial that the church is going through is going to cause revival, I think that's worth it.
We really need to just open it up for the spiritual health of society. It's a step in the right direction, but again, if we can have hundreds of people congregating inside of a Walmart, for example, then why can't we open it up for spiritual feeding, which is of the utmost importance in this day and age when we have people dying from suicides, alcoholism is going up, serious depressions are going up.
When my ring goes off, yeah, it's because of the neighbors.
A shepherd to steer them in the right direction, and if you don't have that connection with the pastor and you just watch it online, it's just not the same.
Freedom has become like a pop culture word that we all throw around once in a while, freedom. It really comes down to this. When it comes down to political freedom, it is the absence of physical force against innocent people. These are all innocent people living their lives, right? So this is the most egregious evil ever, is to initiate physical force against innocent people.
We're here to fight. We're here to stand. And it's time for all of us to go, none of this makes sense. Why are we shutting down the churches when the bars are open, when the liquor stores are open, when Costco's open, when my favorite restaurants are open?
We need our churches. This is why they are essential. We've got the bars and the pubs, and they're all open, and they're allowed more people in there.
In the church, I want to preach in such a way that the congregants will get boldness and courage to do what the others before us did. And so what did they do? They fed the poor, even though the government said they're not allowed. They were burnt on the stakes, they were cut in half, and yet they kept doing what Jesus commands us all to do. Go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation, not just with words, but with deeds. True love always manifests in deeds.
You guys came in all the way from Courtenay, BC. Tell us why. Why was it important to take that trip here?
Well, freedom is very important to us, and there's no greater freedom than the freedom that Christ offers, which is the Church of Jesus Christ represents and proclaims that message. Satan's the tyrant of tyrants, and all his little minions are working here, and they've made headway, but nothing's greater than Jesus Christ in bringing us true.
People are coming together of all the backgrounds, all the ethnicities, all the religious,
You see the stuff that's being said and done now? The stuff that's being said and done now is like on precedent. The fact that, we're even talking about priests and pastors going to jail should just tell you right there on its own how serious this shit is getting. At what point do we do more than just talk about it? That's the question. And what do we do? There's the other question. What do we do? I think Wayne said change his settings to vibrate when will be a win-win. I think Wayne should change his setting to vibrate to that will be a win-win. Yeah, it is. It's just off. I just turned it off. Yes, we are fucked, Wayne. No, we're not. We're not fucked. I don't believe that for 2 seconds. I do not believe that we're screwed in any way, shape, or form. Do I believe that there's going to be a fight ahead? Absolutely. Do I believe that there's going to be a lot of things? Like I believe that we're being tested right now tremendously. Okay. One of the things too that I can kind of see happening is I can see the United States, Canada, and Mexico becoming one unit. I have my reasons for thinking about that. I don't know what I can say and not say just yet. Take your guns back for a start. Take them back where? Like, what am I supposed to do? Go down to the local corner and buy it off the local gangster? Like you can't just go down and buy guns here anymore. They're nowhere. But can I get infected with COVID-19 after being vaccinated? Yeah.
For our rights as humans to have freedoms of religion and have freedoms of our own sovereignty.
I think it's very important to be meeting. Our church went through a time where we weren't meeting, and that was very, I miss my brothers and sisters very much, but now we are meeting in secret, and it's really enriched the fellowship.
Why don't you break it down for some of the people who really don't understand what's going on, and they don't understand why the Christians cannot just stay home and worship on Zoom?
Well, you know, as a church, I mean, we are at the present time obviously online, and we're seeing actually God do some amazing things. But apart from that, we're getting tired of staying on.
I just got to tell you something. I'm just reading right now from Health Canada. Literally, it says right here. It says one of the questions was, has anyone caught COVID after the vaccine? The answer is though it is rare, you can still catch COVID-19 after you get vaccinated. But research shows that you have milder symptoms and a lower transmission rate. I can't take this stupid shit anymore. For the thanks, Paul. Polish, I appreciate that.
Online, because nothing can replace in-person public worship. There's a dynamic that cannot be replaced by Zoom.
Thank you for that donation.
I mean, even coming together to worship, coming together to hug each other and to minister to each other.
No, Steve, I'm not a doctor. I'm just reading off what Health Canada said. Not a doctor, Steve. Not a doctor, just what the Health Canada was writing.
There is a dynamic that cannot be replaced by Zoom.
The church needs to gather with its whole body of believers. The church is compared to a body, and we know a normal body physically can't function if you didn't have your hand. Same thing in the religious world. The church can't fully
No, shit like that will get me banned, Steve.
function unless all its members are together.
My overall concern is basically this. I've been in communist countries. I've been in places where the rights of the citizenry have been removed from them or are already non-existent. Now, the truth is, we've never lived that way in Canada. That is unheard of
And there has been this empty, false confidence that we can live in the inertia of freedoms that were established for us by previous generations. I want you to know that if you look at the international scope and the number of nations that have oppressive regimes, that there's nothing that keeps us from becoming like them. Actually, the church, the freedoms that the church walk in, and we believe that there is a spiritual dynamic to this that allow for freedom. And if the church itself is locked down, I believe one of the key elements that create freedom, create democratic freedom, that free civilizations is being removed from us right before us.
All right, so now you're pastoring a church.
I want to show you guys something. So they're literally getting putting these pastors in jail. They're doing this stuff. Now check this out. Now, what's his name here?
It's really unfair. It's wrong because these Canadians, they have a fundamental right to come in and out of their country. It's called mobility rights, and it's in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And Justin Trudeau is getting in the way of that, both through forcing them to be in these 3-day detention cells and also making them pay for it. Making them pay $1,000 to $2,000 to be in these places. Hey there. Just heading out.
Let's see what he says here. He's
hey there,
leaving.
Ian Bexley for Rebel News. You've probably seen what's going on right now, especially in this situation. I'm in a COVID hotel. I was in Florida covering the vaccine rollout in that state and covering the vaccine refugees that were going down there, basically snowbirds going down there to get the vaccines. I came here to see what it was like inside these COVID jails that Justin Trudeau has set up across the country. Some are much worse than the one that I have been in. I'm in Calgary, but the ones out east are where the problems are happening. Now, there's problems here. There's problems in all of them, actually. But there's some real serious issues going on in Montreal and in Toronto. Check out these videos of people clamoring to get water and food.
I understand that.
And we are not anyone to pay. They're packed in there like animals, and Justin Trudeau just doesn't care. Justin Trudeau just wants a scapegoat so that he has a distraction from his terrible vaccine procurement schedule. Now, I've been in here for 1 day now. And
Kathy Waters, I agree with you.
Here's a picture of what my breakfast was. The dinner, it just didn't come for a long time. I called the front desk again and again, and eventually the food showed up. But when you're in someone's custody, at this hotel where I'm at, and in the government's custody, no less, and you're paying thousands of dollars to be here, forcibly being made to pay thousands of dollars to be here, the food better be on time, and it better not be ice cold garbage like it was. It's safe to say that I'm, fed up. I want to also show you the situation in a Montreal hotel where the door locks had been removed. Now, in the case of my hotel here, there just is no physical lock here. Normally there's something you'd close, right? So that you're secure in here. There's nothing like that here. And in fact, the security guard that came, he was a very nice man, came to take me for my yard time today. Here's some visual of that. The security guard that took me out there, I told him I accidentally left my card in here. Can you let me in? And he just took out a card from his pocket and opened up my door, which is proof that anyone with a security badge, anyone who works for the hotel, could come into this room at any time. If I was a vulnerable woman, I would be much more concerned. I have a chair actually lodged up against the door frame here. Because you just never know who's working for the government. There's allegations that a government-paid security contractor, this woman denied this security contractor a cash payout. He was demanding that she pay him a ticket, a fake ticket in cash. This is all allegations right now, not proven in court, but she said no, and then he sexually assaulted her, according to the stories. That is tragic, that is terrible, and it's all at the hands of Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau has to answer for a few sexual assaults in his life at this point. You know what, the point I'm trying to make is that people are not safe in these hotel rooms, and Canadians deserve better. Canadians deserve security of the person. They deserve not to be arbitrarily detained.
There you go, 706, you got it down pat right there.
This, but I came here so that I could share with you the inside story of what's going on here. And I think I've done that. You can follow everything that I've done on Twitter at @TheRealKean. And now, like many people have asked me to, I'm going to leave. And I'm going to show you what happens when I do. I'm going to show you the hotel. I'm going to show you the hallway, particularly in this floor, what it's like here. I got my mask on because I think that's actually like a legal requirement of me. I'm going to take the chair out.
Well, he does say he has a partner, so I'm assuming that he's scared of pretty much anybody coming in. I'm pretty sure his partner doesn't want nothing happening to him, so that's probably why he's putting that chair up there.
This is the hallway. I'll walk you along it. Some of the doors have these Rubbermaid containers outside of them. I never got one of them. I think it's for these people to put their garbage in. I'll show you what it looks like here. These are them, and this is, they're sort of all the way along the hallway here. I'm just going to go to the elevator.
I don't know if it's a male partner or
I'm on
a
the
female
third floor
partner. I have
right
no
now.
idea.
Justin Trudeau has set up these quarantine hotels almost to spite travelers, right? Like he's been trying to use it as a distraction to say that, the problem's over there, the problem's with these travelers, but really the problem isn't with travelers, especially the ones that he's focusing on, right? The majority of travelers across the border right now are actually like essential workers, whatever that means, right? Like people who truck across the border every single day. That makes up about 90% of travelers. So focusing on these, 10% of people, just so that you can make yourself look good, it's really unfair. It's wrong, because these Canadians, they have a fundamental right to come in and out of their country. It's called mobility rights, and it's in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And Justin Trudeau is getting in the way of that, both through forcing them to be in these 3-day detention cells, and also making them pay for it, making them pay $1,000 to $2,000 to be in these places.
Then you're an idiot.
Just heading out. Yes, that's it. I am going to my car, and I'm going to go home. I'm going to see my dog, see my partner, and I'm going to quarantine. I'm legally obligated to. I'm going to do it, but...
See, he said go see his dog, go see his partner, but I don't know if his partner is female or male, nor does it matter to me, so...
I'm grateful that I was able to tell this story from inside of a COVID jail. If you want to see the full story, all the other stuff we've done, you can do that by going to nocovidjails.com, plural. We are trying to put an end to these. First off, by reporting on them in the first place. The CDC,
he's an awesome reporter. Absolutely awesome.
Lied months ago saying that we had, these were fake news. They didn't exist. They were a conservative conspiracy theory. That was obviously fake. I was in Manitoba outside of a COVID camp. It was dreadful. There was barbed wire lining the place. And then, they finally decided that maybe these were actually a thing. And by that time, they were trying to brush it off and say, no, they're not as bad as they are. And then people started getting sexually assaulted in these buildings. So we figured here at Rebel News that we should actually go cover the other side of the story. In this case, we went to go inside the story, to go see what was happening. We hope you appreciated the coverage. I'm going to get in my car now. This cost us a lot of money to do. If you want to help us out, you can do that at nocovidjails.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm heading home. Hey, thanks so much.
It's crazy. This is the kind of shit that we're talking about. And what news agency? If you guys didn't know about Rebel News or me, Do you guys hear about this shit anywhere else online? It's not fit for purpose and must be removed. Would you guys hear of any of this shit down where you are in the States from anybody? Like, have you guys seen it anywhere else? I just don't understand it. No, see? That's absolutely crazy. So here, this is what I was talking about. I live in a smaller town, and one of the biggest problems that we're having right now is that this is the reason why the banks and people are making people foreclose on their homes and stuff like that. Is the reason why is this right here. Let me just pull this up. This is exactly why right here. So we got landlords struggle for high vacancy rates. Like she rents out 6 units across Ottawa to fund her retirement. Currently, half of them are empty. See, everybody's moving from the big cities to the little cities. So where they would be paying rent in one of these facilities, for fuck's sakes, listen to me, for one of these apartments, they can buy a house in a small town, and that's what's happening right now. So the banks, and over and above, like $100,000 over and above what your house would be labeled as, it's ridiculous.
Ottawa's real estate market continues to command prices well above asking, but for those looking to rent rather than sell their property, the outlook is not as rosy.
As CTV's Colton Prail reports, landlords say they're facing months-long vacancies, forced to choose between an empty unit or a hit to their income.
Daniela Mello is a small landlord. She has 6 units she rents. Half of them are currently vacant.
No, I never had vacancies before.
She's not alone. The CMHC reports roughly 3.5% of units are vacant in Ottawa, about 1% above average.
With the vacancies, of course, your costs will diminish, but
meanwhile,
your
every
income
single
will
day
diminish
there's.
as well. I've had to put.
Meanwhile, like I was gonna say, every single day there's, on average, every month here in Canada, there's about 165 people on average every single month that are losing their house and they're getting put on the streets homeless. And it doesn't matter if they have kids or whatever, they're just being put out homeless. And then you hear about this kind of shit right here where this girl has 6 apartments and literally half of them are empty. It's, what the fuck, man? It's almost like China having so much poverty. Nobody has a home or anything like that to live in, but yet they have cities, full cities that are completely empty. Does that make any sense? Mm-hmm. They're wiping out the middle class? I would say for sure. For sure they are. If it was not for you guys right now, what happened there? If it was not for you guys and this channel and YouTube and all the support that you guys give, watching the videos, watching the streams, donations, stuff like that. If I did not have that, if I didn't have this, I could not get a job anywhere. I could not go anywhere. I would have lost everything. And I'm watching people go through it right now. I know somebody right now, I heard through the grapevine, of somebody that's losing their house right now that I know. And I haven't talked to them in years, but is losing their house right now. And literally went to court and the judge was like, yeah. Didn't pay rent, get out. Didn't pay rent because nobody can work. And they're like, yeah, well, not nobody's problem. It wouldn't be fair to the landlord, so you got to get out. Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Put money out of my savings to keep the properties going.
Realtors say the vacancies are location specific. Areas near universities and colleges are particularly hard hit.
There's one area, Sandy Hill, so we notice that there aren't any students who are in town, and so those units are vacant and a little bit harder to rent.
It's forced some landlords to lower their prices.
There's certainly apartments can be rented for less money than they could be rented a year ago.
But for others, a rent reduction isn't always possible.
Chocolate-covered pineapple is nice.
I'm not a big landlord with lots of properties. So if I reduce a lot, that will have lasting impacts for me for the years to come.
Experts say vacancies in neighborhoods outside the Greenbelt and the downtown core have already rebounded. However, those in neighborhoods like Sandy Hill will take at least a year to recover.
I think we'll also see more people filtering back into the downtown, especially as they see the vaccine roll out, as they see that life can go back to normal.
Absolutely, Kathy. Every day I know that. Every single day.
Stay strong and keep going, and things will eventually go back to some kind of normality.
Some kind.
CTV News.
Some kind of normality. We don't know exactly what kind of normality, but just something. And we are definitely not going back to anything that we are going to remember or reflect on as being, yep, this is how I remember it. It's never going to happen. That will never happen. Selling your tickets today. All right, where is this? COVID-19 response. Okay, federal briefing on the vaccine. Okay, yeah. They're saying that we could be months and months and months away before we even get a vaccine. Crazy. Craziness. Let me pull up this here. So, guys, if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please consider hitting the thumbs up button. It really helps out me, helps the channel, gets more people in here, puts me into that suggested box up on the right-hand side. And on top of that, it's free. Hit it, like it, lick it, do whatever you want to do. It's your like button. If you're going to hit it more than once, hit it 3 times. And the best thing, guys, if you're just tuning in, jump into the chat, say hi to the people. I'm telling you, we have the best live chat anywhere, and I can say that because I'm on all the platforms right now. Anywhere out there, just jump into the chat, say hi to the people. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. They are absolutely wonderful people. All right, let's see what this is. No, can't play this shit either. Boom, boom, ching, dun, dun, dun. Or after pen. Yeah, man, I don't know. Everyone will refer to before or after pandemic. Exactly. 100%. Before the vaccine, the pandemic, this is what I used to do. Now, this is what I do. I sit on my ass and talk every single night about random shit that I see going on throughout the day. Man, I don't know. So, I had a friend of mine call me up this morning from one of the embassies that actually is like right down to a skeleton crew. Literally called me up and was like, man, they're getting ready for something big. And I'm like, yeah, it's the Capitol, which I wanted to bring up that feed, by the way. I'm like, yeah, it's the Capitol. Like, everything's going to shit. He's like, no, bro. He's like, I'm telling you, there's something else going on. I'm like, I don't know. Just don't know what it could be. What do you guys think? $100 billion, election bribe. No details on Prime Minister's state. Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy. Mars 2. Do we have a means to make... no, we're buying all our shit overseas and shit like that. It's ridiculous. Allow for up to 4 months interval. Okay, so they're saying every 4 months to get the vaccine. Is it a vaccine or a treatment at that point? I don't know. Man, oh man. Wayne, I made a lot of money coaching backflips, so I get it. Rebel News. Let's go. What's up, baby girl? Shortly. So easy. You go. I'll be up there in a bit. Love you.
Love you too.
Do you?
Yeah.
Go
Of
to.
course I love you.
Of course you love me. Sounds good. Okay, go to bed. You're grounded for making me eat lemon juice. Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted. Actually, woke left comes for yes. Where is this? Film industry double standard. This is what I wanted to show you guys.
Warning. Censorship.
So keep in mind, they're putting priests and pastors in jail. But check this out.
Everybody's in it together. That's it.
Oh, do you really believe that? Because, well, the restaurants and the gyms and the stores, they can't open, but you guys can continue filming, so I don't think everyone's in it together.
Toronto. Well, maybe do your research and learn.
I'm kind of curious. We've been covering the anti-lockdown protests every Saturday, officer, and people are being hauled away in paddy wagons, and yet we see the same lack of social distancing happening here, and the police aren't ticketing these people. Instead, you're protecting them. Why the double standard?
Well, we have a business here. We have an industry. It employs thousands of people. We make a lot of money every year in the film industry. It's a huge business.
I totally agree.
Okay. Oh, okay. So shit, man. As long as you got a huge business that make millions of dollars every year, fuck, man. You don't need to follow the COVID rules, apparently. Okay. Smart ass. This guy looks like he's got nuts on his chin, just for the record.
And I don't want you shut down.
Money talks, what can I say?
Oh, man, come on. Why is this not working? Wait till you just see what he just said. Listen to this.
We make a lot of money every year in the film industry. It's a huge business.
I totally agree, and I don't want you shut down.
Money talks, what can I say?
So that's what it's money talks and walks, I guess.
Sure.
By the way, I don't begrudge the film industry. We have great talent in this city. I want to see everything opening. The restaurants, the gyms, the coffee shops, the boutiques.
I'd appreciate it if you put on a mask first if you're going to stand this close to me.
Oh, really? Oh, okay then. Are you really that afraid?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm concerned.
There it is.
Lights, camera, double standards. David Menzies for Rebel News here in Midtown Toronto. And folks, gotta tell you, as you can see behind me, there is a MGM movie being shot here. It's a little odd, isn't it? You can't have your kid go out and play hockey. He'll get one of those $880
but yeah, he can have
Wuhan
this.
virus tickets. You can't go to a restaurant to have a meal.
Ridiculous.
Small business. You can't go to the salon to get your hair cut or your nails done.
Cannot have anybody from the public going in there to have their hair cut.
You can't even go to a movie.
but you can make a movie. Oh, yeah. In John Tory's Toronto, that is completely allowable. There is something like 20 active film productions going on in the city right now. And you know what, folks? I don't...
Are you fucking kidding me? Did I just read that? Did I just read that? Read that sign. And think of the protests. I can't believe I just read that. TV is essential. Did you read the sign?
Begrudge them that. I want a healthy film industry for this city, for this country. I want people employed, and we have some of the best in the film business right here in Toronto. But it's the double standard that concerns me. As you know, folks, forget about all the retail operations and gyms and salons that are shut down. Every Saturday at either Queen's Park or Yonge Dundas Square, we have members of the Toronto Police Service ticketing and even arresting citizens just for protesting against the lockdown.
Gonna get arrested. Gonna get arrested.
And as you can see here, there are police officers, but they're not making arrests. They are protecting the filmmakers. So we just want to find out why that is. Why is there this heaping helping of hypocrisy happening in Hogtown right now? And maybe we'll just get some answers. Hey, officer, how you doing there? Just wondering, I'm David Menzies with Rebel News, and we couldn't help but notice this film production going on here, and yet every Saturday at Queen's Park or at Yonge Dundas Square, your brothers and sisters in arms are rounding up people, arresting them, ticketing them for protesting. I'm just wondering, why can we have movie shot here with, I guess, a lack of social distancing and more than 5 congregating, and we can't have protesting?
I'm not sure. You'll have to speak to the corporate media.
Now, I have reached out, and they don't answer my questions. I mean, and it's to such an extent. I mean, even if we're looking at apples and apples, you can, this summer we had Black Lives Matter protests where not only did you guys turn a blind eye, but you actually bent the knee, including the former chief. Why the double standard?
I have no comment.
No? Are you on paid duty right now, officer?
I am, yes.
How much do you make on paid duty, if you don't mind?
I'm not sure.
Well, you're not sure about that?
I'm not sure. It changed recently.
Oh, okay then. And so, again, do you not see that there's a double standard here? You can have an even bigger congregation of people making a movie. And by the way, I don't begrudge the film industry. We have great talent in this city. I want to see everything opening. The restaurants, the gyms, the coffee shops, the boutiques.
I'd appreciate it if you put on a mask first if you're going to stand this close to me.
Really?
He's scared of him talking. He's got a scarf and a mask on.
Oh, okay then. Are you really that afraid?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm concerned.
Okay. I mean, you look relatively young, relatively healthy to me. Your chances of dying from the virus, you have a 6 times higher chance of getting struck and killed by that Audi if you cross the street. Okay then. So you don't see that there's some kind of double standard, that our civil liberties are being eclipsed, but filmmaking can go through no problem. Okay then. By the way, folks, on the Department of Double Standards, it doesn't seem like any of the Highway Traffic Act laws or municipal bylaws apply to the film crew either. This big Ram Bighorn truck has been parked here since we got here about half an hour ago. It is facing the wrong way in the lane, which is normally a ticket. And it is still continuing to idle, and we have a 60-second idling limit here in the city of Toronto. But hey, when you're the big, beautiful people, looks like the laws don't apply in John Tory's Hogtown.
Ain't that
Protesting
the truth?
aside, the stores are closed, the restaurants are closed, the gyms are closed, and yet we can have a film shot here. I don't understand.
Well, I think you should maybe speak to Film Toronto then about that and find out what the standards are that have been laid down.
Film Toronto, it's called? Okay, then. And who do I go to at Film Toronto?
I would just call them. I don't have the number. You just call them and somebody will be there to answer. That's all they do.
I mean, is this virus so super intelligent it doesn't like people going to the restaurant?
Yeah, so Blind Dude, just so you know that here in Ontario and in the big cities, you can't have your truck idling, or your vehicle, I should say, idling for more than 60 seconds in Ontario. So basically, you go out to start up your car, you got to make sure that it's not there. Or if you stop or pull over somewhere, you can't have your vehicle idling. It's one of the reasons why you'll see that whenever I go out and I'm driving around doing my live streams, you'll see that I'll move before I hit that 60 seconds, or I shut the vehicle off. It's the law.
But it'll avoid.
Look, I've lost two friends. Well, two people that I know.
I'm sorry to hear that.
The next door neighbor, who was only 42 years old, died in a week. So please don't talk to me about that, okay?
Well,
I've been hit hard by it. I know about it. So don't start playing this game of, well, everybody's in it together. That's it.
Oh, do you really believe that? Because, well, the restaurants and the gyms and the stores, they can't open, but you guys can continue filming, so I don't think everyone's in it together.
Well, maybe do your research and learn.
You're very straight.
Double masks.
Okay.
We sanitize.
Okay, then.
Yeah, and besides, they had paid permits to do these things.
Is this Ron Jeremy? And you know what? What he just said, it doesn't matter. We paid permits to do what we do here. So we paid permits to be able to, just do whatever we want. So again, this goes to show, as long as you got the money, you got the go. It's crazy.
Okay. For parking, for using this bridge.
No, I don't begrudge the film to be made.
Toronto to explain it to them, because he's going to take whatever he's saying and he's only going to look at it his way.
Well, why do you say that, sir? We've just had
Obviously, you're making accusations and you haven't done any research.
I'm just asking questions. I'm not making accusations.
Okay. Talk to Film Toronto, and you'll get the whole story.
Okay, then. Well, this gentleman reached out to me to talk. If you don't want to talk to me, I'll talk to him.
Yeah, well...
What, you're his hall monitor or something? So, sir, I don't begrudge the film industry. I'm just saying...
Tested for COVID 3 times a week. Okay?
I take your word for that.
So, it's a very safe environment.
Okay.
It really is. Stricter rules than you'll find anywhere.
But the salons, the gyms, the restaurants, they all have very strict hygiene rules too. And they're closed down, sir.
Well, we have a business here. We have an industry. It employs thousands of people. We make a lot of money every year in the film industry. It's a huge business.
I totally agree. And I don't want you shut down.
Money talks. What can I say?
Oh, so it's money talks and bull talks, I guess.
Sure.
Okay. Well, that's a very interesting take on a pandemic issue. But I'm not here to say shut this production down. I know people in the film industry. I want you to thrive, but I want the restaurants and gyms and stores open too.
It's another world.
Is it really?
Yeah. We control a film set. Everyone has been tested. Right, we keep our social distancing. You think people are hugging and holding each other? It's not like that.
I guess there's no love scenes being shot that.
Well, that's another story.
Okay.
It would be a closed set anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, says Ron Jeremy.
Right? I couldn't tell you about that.
But I mean, when we look at the food service industry, the gym industry, their trade associations say that less than 0.1% of COVID infections can be traced back to those industries. So why shut them down?
Why shut them down? Have you talked to Rob Ford?
Do you mean Doug Ford?
Doug Ford.
Okay.
Yeah, well.
Rob Ford. Shit. That's the guy that was one of the mayor of Toronto, one of the biggest cities here in Canada, that was caught smoking crack cocaine with with people. This goes to show that Ron Jeremy likes to party a little bit. He knows all about closed sets and Rob Ford.
Ask Doug Ford.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a lot to do with it.
100%, and so does Mayor Tory.
He applauds the film industry and how we conduct ourselves.
Yeah, mayor, sorry.
As do I, sir.
He was a mayor of the city.
So is there another question?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sense. The police officer wouldn't explain the double standard. We have groups less than the people on this set congregating at Queen's Park every Saturday, and they're actually being arrested and hauled away in paddy wagons in the name of COVID. And yet here, an outdoor set, the police are actually protecting you, not arresting you.
I told you, to even start working on a film, you have to be tested for COVID a few days before you actually start. So, in theory, all of us have been tested.
In theory.
And the results, if they come in positive, we won't be able to work.
But if people who are protesters, those in the retail industry, the gym industry, the salon industry, if they got tested to the same standard.
If.
You want that production, right?
Yes.
Sorry, we have to cancel the interview. If you're going to interview anybody, it has to go through our production company, and they have to be authorized to.
Oh, it does. I thought I'm on a public street. I thought I was in a free democracy.
You can't be speaking to that, right? If you can give me a card, I can put you in touch with the right people, and we can organize that, but it's not possible to do here today.
Well, he actually approached me, sir, and we're just doing a report. We're on a public street, and I'm just asking harmless questions.
Just asking why you're here or anything like that. You have a right to interview people. We just can't speak publicly about anything without consent from MGM and the TV producers.
And by the way, what is being filmed here?
I'm not at liberty to discuss anything.
You can't even say what's being filmed.
But thank you. Have a nice day, okay?
Hey, we're just waiting to cross the bridge. They said a couple of minutes. So
yeah,
we're
asking just not to film just because these are productions, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, and then with COVID as well, so.
You're not allowed to speak to the other officer from MGM.
I understand that. We were called to come over and touch base with these guys from the AD department.
Okay.
So yeah, we're just trying to get them off the bridge.
Understood.
So this is we're just gonna cross the bridge then.
Oh, that guy's a dick, eh? He's like right in everybody's face.
Like, I'm happy to interview you, but this person here doesn't want people talking to us for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
This is an MGM movie?
We're here working, so we're not here interviewing, unfortunately. Yeah, we're just trying to keep people separated just due to COVID as well.
Okay, so we can be on our way then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
How you doing?
Wow. I love his hat. I love his hat.
This is Hollywood snow, by the way.
What are you doing?
No,
why are you blocking me?
You're interfering with our work site.
No, I'm not. This is, I don't care.
What did he just do there? I want to rewind. What did he do? He was walking?
What are you doing?
No,
why are you blocking me?
You're interfering with our work site.
No, I'm not. This is, I don't care.
That guy's a dick.
Don't block me like that. Get out of my way. No, you can't block me like that. You just stop right in front of me. That's inappropriate. This is public road.
We were asked to stand for several minutes, I estimate about 8 or 9 minutes, so that we wouldn't interfere with their film production. We were very respectful of that. And when the person on the set gave us the green light to walk, we walked. But we were respectful of their production. They're not respectful of our production. That fellow there in the yellow jacket purposely stood in the way of Mocha's camera lens to try to ruin our shooting. Isn't that amazing? Talk about double standards. It seems that respect is a one-way street on this bridge.
Oh, look at this guy. This guy.
Yeah,
This is a perfect example of what I was saying a while ago. People love to get their fucking their nose into other people's business, but then the moment they turn around, and get they're in their other people's business, they don't want to take responsibility for anything. They just want to be able to shoot their mouth off. I think it's disgusting. It's disgusting that people are doing this shit.
Name being uttered. Hey officers, how you doing there? David Menzies, Rebel News. I'm not sure what that gentleman was complaining about, but I'm kind of curious. We've been
taking part in large gatherings, including protests and demonstrations, while recognizing the right to present gathering more than 5 people are not permitted. Under the order, officers are prepared to respond appropriately. This includes dispersing people and laying charges. Organizers of events can also face tickets and court summons. Look at this. Like, they're literally, this is a big sign that's outside. That's outside, and that's on the wall. It's like we live in one of those fucking movies where you walk down the street and it's like basically saying comply, or you'll be going to the factory or some bullshit like that. Like, look at this shit.
covering the anti-lockdown
Right there,
protests
look.
every Saturday, officer, and people are being hauled away in paddy wagons. They've handcuffed you, ma'am. What did they say to you?
Oh my goodness, I don't understand why I'm being arrested. I don't understand. Why don't I have the right to speak what's on my heart? I want people to know.
It just seems odd to me that protesters are being arrested every Saturday in downtown Toronto, and yet here you guys are, and we back the blue, but you're not arresting anybody on this set for lack of social distancing. You're giving them protection. I don't understand the difference.
It's crazy.
Well, there you have it, folks. We didn't get many answers as to the prevailing double standard as to why some people can open and others get arrested for having the temerity to do so. Remember Adam Skelly back in late November? And as for our civil rights and liberties, every Saturday we have otherwise law-abiding, tax-paying Canadians getting arrested and even hauled away in paddy wagons. And like I said earlier, I don't begrudge the movie business from setting up shop here in Toronto. I love the idea of these good, high-paying jobs coming to the city. I just want equality. If the film business can open up, then surely retail businesses and gyms and movie theaters, they can open up as well. And what about the double standard when it comes to other film production companies? You know, like Alicia Herder out in St. Catharines, who reimagined her barber shop into a film production company. She was viciously shut down by the city and by the region. And my colleague Sheila Gunn-Reid, remember her report of a wrestling promotion that was set up as a film production company in Manitoba? They too were shut down. But you know, as I guess it's true what one of the members of the crew here told us, as John Tory wants Toronto to be less Hogtown and more Hollywood, as John Tory caters to the stars and the elites as opposed to the de rigueur tax-paying schlubs, well, it all comes down to money talks, and yeah, bullshit walks. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Oh.
Wow. Yeah, like you see, these are the only people that are out there right now that are literally speaking the truth. Soy boy cops. I should have been paying attention to the chat a little bit more. Trying to bring up the next feeds here. All right, trying to bring this up. Let me see what's going on here. Wayne. Yeah. Oh, okay. Just put that down. Thank you. Okay, but you have YouTube good nurses. Okay, just trying to catch up with the chat here. Nailed it. Okay, Wayne, did you hear that Aaron O'Toole fired Pierre? That's messed up. No, I didn't hear that. Canadian Trump. Look what she brought me. She cut up an orange. She cut up an orange. I don't know if I just spilled that. Hey, say thanks. I hope government. Okay, where was Soy Boy Cops? Okay. All right. Just gonna share. Plate appears. Gonna share, Wayne. I'm not even sure I'm gonna eat it, to be honest with you. Look out, it's lemony. Yeah, exactly. Like I love my kids, but she's been pranking me a lot. She's been pranking me a lot. So the woke left comes for Dr. Seuss. All right, let's see what's going on here. Let's see, Senate.
An income tax return reconciling any advance payment of the credit under the section, the secretary shall treat subparagraph.
Oh, they're voting on your.
B, effective date.
They're voting on your COVID-19 relief.
Years beginning after.
White House dark again. Yeah, every night at 10. Every night at 10. Or every night at 11, I should say. Biden's got to go to bed early. Looks like a journalist 1 hour ago. Okay. Kennedy sends off. Here we go. There we
Let's
go.
look at the coverage surrounding New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. We have been reporting on this deadly nursing home fiasco for almost a year. His executive order, the media mob, they helped sweep it under the rug. And now that he's facing a federal criminal investigation into his handling and cover-up of COVID-19 and these nursing home deaths, you know, there's tepid coverage. Wow. There's also some light, feigned moral outrage surrounding a sexual misconduct allegation.
They won't vote until the home. They're going to be there forever.
None of this is going to stop Andrew Cuomo from lying through his teeth. Take a look.
I want you to know this from me directly. I never touched anyone inappropriately. I never touched anyone inappropriately.
Wow, you led a boring life then. I touch Emma all the time inappropriately.
I never knew at the time that I was making anyone feel uncomfortable.
You never touched anyone inappropriately? Okay. What about that? Okay, I guess that's how you define is. Who does that? You know, who grabs a stranger by the neck and the face and pulls them in and tries to kiss them?
Joe Biden.
You can look at the expression and decide for yourself. Clearly inappropriate to me. It's almost as bad as Joe Biden sniffing people's hair and getting in people's faces and kissing everybody and grabbing everybody the way he did. And by the way, listen to how another accuser is describing Cuomo and the sexual harassment in the workplace. Take a look.
Do you believe that he was propositioning you? Yes. For what? Sex. So he goes, you were raped. You were raped. You were raped and abused and assaulted. He asked if I had trouble enjoying being with someone because of my trauma. This seems highly inappropriate. Yeah. The governor asked me if I was sensitive to intimacy. He asked me if age difference mattered. He also explained that he was fine with anyone over 22.
Now one must ask at this time, considering what happened in Kavanaugh's case, where is the I Believer caucus after that interview? Now on this program, we are consistent. We're not going to change. We believe in due process. We believe in the presumption of innocence. We believe allegations should be taken seriously. An investigation should be done, but you don't rush to judgment. Lo and behold, almost everyone in the media mob, the Democratic Party,
You see, okay, I want to say this, and I'm scared because I'm scared I'm going to word this the wrong way. I'm really scared I'm going to word this the wrong way. So if it comes out the wrong way, I want to apologize in advance. I'm not taking away from what these girls did or happened to them, okay? I'm not taking away from that. If it's true, then it's the most horrible thing that a woman should have to deal with, and it's unthinkable. But I find it really, really coincidental that he's getting charged or being investigated for sexual harassment, which holds a very little slap on the wrist for somebody like him, versus murdering people and negligence and covering up shit. Seems like a pretty good fucking distraction if you ask me. Now again, I'm not saying that it didn't happen. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. I just find it a very convenient that now, right now, as the biggest fuck up in this guy's career that could possibly happen, where he could be looking at his whole career going down the shit, all of a sudden these gorgeous looking women are popping up saying, yeah, I want to, can everybody look at me please for 2 seconds? Now again, if it happened, then I'm going to be that asshole that was like, yeah. But I find it very coincidental that at this time he's being investigated for something like this versus being investigated for negligence against somebody else, or old people that cause death. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being that asshole.
They agree with me, because in 2018 they were all feigning moral outrage and lying in order to block Kavanaugh's nomination, and right outside, I believe,
coincidental.
They tried to ruin Kavanaugh's entire life in front of his wife and daughters. They did it for political gain. They minimize the seriousness of important issues like this by playing politics with it. And of course, because Cuomo's a Democrat, he's not getting the same treatment at all by them. And by the way, another big example of all
changing the channel. That's all they're doing.
Involved the clear and growing
holy
crisis
smokes
on our southern border. Well, now we have.
Holy smokes! Oh, give me a sec here. Ah, shit! It won't even let me see who donated. I missed some donations, and I feel like a shithead now because somebody donated and brought it up, and I have no idea who it is. I have to wait until they either fix it or something else happens, because it... Shit. I'm sorry. Whoever donated it, if I didn't call it out, I apologize right now for not doing that. Shit. I'm so sorry, guys. Can I drop a link, Wayne? Yeah, absolutely. You can... Oh, blind dude. Fuck. Alright, blind dude. Let's see what your link is. Drop a link. I'm gonna regret this one.
Have the DHS Secretary and Joe Biden saying there's no crisis at all. That reminds me of over the summer when they acted like the far left riots that we were witnessing with our own eyes were actually peaceful protests.
Steve Kerr, what are you talking about? Shithead is not PC. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Steve.
Remember the scene, fake news, CNN, that scene right there? Fire, but mostly peaceful protests after the police shooting. Standing in front of a building burning to the ground in Kenosha, decked out in riot gear. A banner reading, fiery, but mostly peaceful protests after police shooting. Saw the same thing over there at Conspiracy TV, MSDNC in Minneapolis, where an anchor claimed that the situation was not generally unruly while standing outside another raging fire. And the Seattle mayor, Jenny Durkin, called the violent occupation of city blocks and a police precinct, oh, a summer of love, autonomous Chaz Chop, spaghetti potluck dinner zone. This is until multiple African-American teens were shot and killed, police begging to offer medical attention. They had to beg on a bullhorn. Joe Biden, meanwhile, made no mention, none whatsoever, of the nationwide riots, and they were riots, during the DNC. Just pretended like it wasn't happening. And this brings us back full circle to what is a real crisis on the southern border.
Oh, I
Once
hear
again,
you.
Biden,
I hear you, Steve.
his DHS secretary, Democrats, the mob, and the media, they are pretending that it is not happening and that it's no big deal. But according to leaked federal documents obtained by Axios, the U.S. Border Patrol is handing over 320 children each day to the Department of Health and Human Services.
Wow.
That's up from around 40 in January. And get this, the same documents reveal that the same shelter system at the border is already operating at almost full capacity, already full, as a record 117,000 unaccompanied minors are expected now to cross the border this year alone. Make no mistake, the Biden administration's completely, totally,
So let me get this straight. Everybody was bitching and complaining because Trump had, 700 kids in facilities, and yet there's going to be 117,000 children this year alone. Like, what the fuck, man? Has Biden done anything he said he was going to do? Has he done anything?
utterly unprepared, and it is a crisis. We've all seen the images of child migrant detention centers. Right there, I don't see much social distancing or mask wearing either by the Biden administration. We saw the cargo shipping containers, with the tiny windows and bars on it. And then we saw, by the way, they're not letting media in at all. They're telling us there are butterflies on the walls and everything. Then the tarps and the tents and foil blankets for kids.
Wow.
Now, if Donald Trump were president, the hysteria would be rampant. The mob, the media, Democrats would likely accuse the president of putting kids back in cages.
Yep.
Those are the ones Biden and Obama built, but then blamed on Trump. Once again, we're now seeing this is more feigned, phony moral outrage by all parties here. And many on the left are trying to cover up this crisis. After all, their policies are causing this terrible situation at the border. Biden vowed to give amnesty to millions, vowed to expand asylum visas, halted all border wall construction, losing American jobs. He now reintroduced the policy, the idiocy known as catch and release. In other words, after an adult illegal immigrant is intercepted at the border and Border Patrol does their job, they just process them and then release them into American cities, many without even getting screened for COVID, which is now a bigger problem than we knew. More than 100 of those migrants have tested positive for COVID-19.
Wow.
But that's far from the only serious problem that this border surge is now causing. As we speak, we have Mexican cartels. They're getting rich. And they're now trafficking so many illegal immigrants across the border that they're using a wristband system to keep track of their customers.
No, we got 15 minutes
This
left
is a
anyways.
recipe for
So
a mitigated disaster.
15
It
minutes,
poses
last
incredible
call
risk to people on both sides
for
of the
alcohol.
border. Sarah Carter is going to join us live from Texas with a report that's upcoming. Let's look at the coverage.
Last call for alcohol, 15 minutes. Oh, man. That orange was actually pretty good. I liked it. I like that orange. Who we got here? Oh, Matt, yes. Nobody. All right. Can I share a video? Absolutely, Lori. Just give me 1 sec here. There you go, Lori. You'll take some champagne? Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. All right. Last call for alcohol. Don't be a wuss till 1 a.m. tonight. I just got here. Well, you should have been in earlier, Brad. No, I have to because my kids get up like super early now. Because my oldest has gone back to school. My oldest has gone back to school now, so. Yes. Freedom of religion versus BC. Yep. Nope. 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 There was something I wanted to tell you. Fuck, I can't remember, Brad. When will Watch What Wayne be back? Well, actually, you know what? Let me check that right now quickly here. Actually, I'm gonna do this here. Yeah. So, Brad, today's stream. Scroll through to it. You'll see you can do the double whammy, just like I'm doing here on the screen right now. You can do the same. I was doing the same thing in the car. Here's a link. Okay, Wayne, thank you. Link. Do. All right, let me see. Okay, let me pull this up. Yeah, I'll go from this screen here. I'll bring this from the big one up to the main viewing. See how I do that, guys? So this is what I'm doing all the time. I'm literally pulling up tabs on the left-hand side here. Actually, let's do a little tour here. So what I do is I pull these tabs from one screen over to the next. So I use what I'm doing here. I bring it up over here. And then I discard it. And then I bring another one. And then we go back and we keep flipping them over. So preview screen, execution screen. I bring this up like this. Do. Like that.
Donald Trump spoke at CPAC in Florida yesterday. All of the coverage, particularly in social media, was about the politics of it. Will he run again? Ignored were some of the details in his speech, and it's not hard to see why. At one point, Trump did what almost no conservatives are willing to do in public. He pointed out that Democrats are pushing...
What? In a couple minutes, go. I'm scared to actually play the rest of this video. I'm actually kind of scared to play the rest of the video. I don't want to get in trouble. Mike Hunt, yeah, Mike. Oh, Mike Hunt's in here. How you doing, Mike? Been a while. Yeah, I'm not gonna I don't want to play that. I don't want to play it. I'm not gonna play it. I'm scared. I don't want to lose it yet. I don't want to lose it yet. I don't want to lose this, the channel yet. I'm gonna check right now. Actually, see. I think it's Monday or Tuesday. We get it back. Message butthurt. AOG Mike. That's what she said. Oh, there it goes. There it is. If they shut R3 down for 2 weeks. Yeah. I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna take the risk. As soon as he said that. I'm gonna watch it though after. Definitely. Yeah, so that's my work driving. That's my my work field here. So I go from, like I said, I pick out what we're doing over here on this screen, and then I bring it up over there. Fox News. We don't want to lose. Woody, yeah. Let's see.
An income tax return reconciling any advance payment of the credit under the section the Secretary shall treat subparagraph A as not applying. B. Effective date. The amendment made by this section shall apply to taxable years beginning after December 31st, 2019. Section 9663. Application of premium tax credit in case of individuals receiving unemployment
Ooh. Boom. That was kind of scary, actually. I just got done reading in the chat there. Another one bites the dust, and then the ring of death came on. I was like, "Whoa, we're done." I was going through Watch What Wayne withdraws. Yeah, it sucks. It does. So this screen that you're seeing right here, this is basically my control panel. This here feeds into the other PCs. This PC here and this PC here, these here bring in all the multiple feeds. When I was doing the protest, I was bringing in all the feeds separately from all the different channels. Takes a lot of computer power to do that. Now I just got a completely really overpowered system for what I do now. It still works, but I guess it's not really that bad. If we ever have like the end of the world again, I guess I'll be able to stream it if the internet stays up. Back in Biden citizenship for 11 million immigrants. And let's check this out. Mike, what'd Mike say? I hear Tiger Woods is good with his putter. Yeah. That was mean. So Brad S. Hey brother, want to say goodnight. We love you, Wayne. Yeah, I got 10 minutes there. I'm gonna close it up in about 10 minutes too. We love you. I love you too, bro. Let me see. There was one video. I'm trying to see if I can find it here quickly. But true. Stream the end of the world. I'll watch. Nah, the end of the world's not coming. It's not coming. Alright, what do we got here? Notice from all LGL health unit, the Thursday moves was not the root cause of the outbreak. It was not closed by the... Okay. Why the misleading stories printed everywhere. Wow. A lot of strange lights happening everywhere. I don't get that shit. Yeah, a lot of friggin' no. They took that stream down too. Man, I thought they were gonna take that down. I wasn't sure. Yeah, they took down the other stream that I was going to play. Good thing I didn't. Wow. Yeah, frig, this sucks. Okay. Yeah, no, they took it down and I can't even find it anywhere anyways. So I think that's it. That's all I had for videos. Oh, wait. Watch later. Saved. Did I save one? Liked videos. Live tonight. Where do I go for my liked videos? Shit. Where do I go for my liked video? Or I put
containing human genes is to be grown in the U.S. developed by the...
So this... rice with human genes to be grown in the United States. Now, I'm going to put this here. This guy, and I'm going to put this in the chat. You have to pay attention to what he's saying, but what this guy is saying is really kind of scary when you really think about it. There it is right there. New volcano expected to blow any time, and now in Iceland. Wow. All right. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. Gonna wrap it up and go to sleep. goodness. All right, guys. So tomorrow night, well, actually, I should say during the day tomorrow, if you guys want to join me tomorrow morning, go and pay it forward. Go buy somebody a cup of coffee or a tea or whatever they have. So I'll be doing that tomorrow whenever I get up, probably after I drive my daughter to school. Then after that, I'm going to be playing around with some with the cameras and stuff like that. I'm going to call you S or Brad too. And I think that's pretty much it for tonight. Gordon, thank you very much for that email. And I think it's going to be good.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands.
Later, Mike.
Strong like a tree.
Michelle, sorry. American Off-Grid. Polish.
Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sleep
on a sleepless night. Alright. RL, how you doing? Good night, good night. Hopefully we get Watch What Wayne back Monday or Tuesday. You guys are awesome. Thanks to everybody tonight that supported the channel, being here, sharing this. I love you guys. I really do. See you tomorrow. But if you want to get to heaven, you gotta raise a little hell. I've been running from the law. Hope they don't shoot me down soon.